Hi, guys, and welcome to another episode. And I'm really thrilled to have Dear Lily with me, which she is a musician and she has two songs out, The City and Eternal. And we're going to talk about them and we're going to talk about her music. And I'm really excited to have you. So, hi once again.
Hey, thank you so much. I'm so excited, honestly. Yeah, thank you for having me. This is so cool.
How's your day been?
It's been really good, thank you. It's actually a really nice day here. Like a really nice autumn day. It's really sunny. So that's a thing to be happy about. How's your day been?
It's been okay, thank you. I've had some stuff to do. I also went to my allergologist because I have like allergy. That's why I was stuck in traffic and we had to push it back a little.
Oh,
But
really?
I'm glad I could make it on time because the traffic is
Mhm.
always insane in Saturdays. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, for sure. No, it's all good.
I divided this in like two parts where in the first part we're going to talk about your two amazing songs and then we'll talk about uh your life as a musician and like how you perceive some stuff as a musician because I know it's pretty hard out there in the music industry. I already talked with many artists and just put yourself out there. It takes a lot of courage. So
Yeah.
um I really look up to every single musician. That's why I started to do this in the first place because I feel like you deserve so much more attention because you don't have any like big label behind you and you basically need to do all your stuff alone. So big applause also.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I feel like there is a lot of upcoming like independent artists and stuff like this, and just social media in general really helps and like getting out there. But yeah, it's hard, but it's also so much fun, and I've been enjoying it. So yeah.
That's amazing. So your first song, The City, was your debut song, right? And it
hmm
feels like it captures a very specific vibe. At least that's what I felt. So, what was the moment or experience that inspired you to write it?
Yeah. So firstly, thank you. I really wanted to move to the city, to London specifically. I still do. That's still pending. Um, I think being a musician somewhere like London is such a dream. There's just so many more opportunities. And I spoke about wanting to do this with my boyfriend and not doing it alone. And so it was quite a specific feeling, I would say. It was a time where I was debating whether to do this or stay home. I ended up staying home for another year, but I do plan on doing this next year. Um, but yeah, so I just spoke about my experience of sometimes like struggling and feeling alone, but this person like really getting me through everything and like just understanding me. And I was just really excited to like go to a new chapter of my life, like in terms of music and again in this relationship. So that's what I would say I was capturing. It was genuinely just how I was feeling, and that's why I feel The City is such a special song to me. Like I really, really love it. Just because it was exactly what I wanted to say, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. Amazing response. I actually when I saw your profile and then I heard the song, I actually remember like hearing it on TikTok, but I don't remember like when. It was like a long time ago and it wasn't out. And I was waiting till it comes out, but then it kind of like vanished because I hate the algorithm. Like
Mhm.
I try to like repost stuff, but I never come back to it. And it's weird. I never saw you again on TikTok. And I feel really bad because I was so excited for the song because it felt really like home and like I could relate to it because I also am such a city girl and there are a few lyrics that I can really just like relate to. So I love the song. And you also have a second song out
Yes.
and it has such an ethereal quality to it. So, do you remember what was your creative process like for bringing that sound to life? Because it's When I first heard it, I felt like I was in another dimension. Like it is just so amazing. I think it's one of my favorite songs like ever.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you so much. Honestly, that makes me really happy. I just love like dreamy music, something yeah, that just feels like you're not even real. And I knew in all my music I want to try and get that across. And I feel like in this song, just like the lyrics and like the concept of being eternal, I felt like I could really push that. So I think to get the sound, I mean, vocally, I did so many takes. I really wanted it to be like perfect and really like soft, but also to belt parts. I knew how I wanted to sound in my head, if that makes sense. So I did like a lot of takes until I got the right ones. And yeah, there's just like a lot of atmosphere, like pads and stuff like that in the song. Yeah, I think before going to even record it, I knew I had that intention in mind that I wanted it to sound really dreamy and just like beautiful and nice to listen to, but also just really emotional. I think that song for me, like, even though it's more upbeat, it's like more emotional than like the sea for me, just because it's like, I don't know, there's just like a feeling in it that is really emotional.
Yeah, it's really emotional, especially I don't know if I should call it outro or like a bridge, where it's like I
Mhm.
feel it when I sleep, I breathe dependently. Like that part, I listen to it. I think at night because that's what I usually do when either I want to discover a new musician or like albums out or something like that. I always listen to music at evenings, and when I really like sit and I listen, because it's different when I have my music all the time, but when I really like sit and listen and read the lyrics and everything, and it's just so amazing. And really, I don't think I've ever met a musician who just had like two songs out or like few songs out and really was like true to their sound. So I really do appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I love the like the bridge middle eight section, I guess, but I guess it's also an
Yeah.
outro. Yeah, I love that part. I felt like it's just that final like push and it really adds. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Like you're obviously very amazing. I can't wait. You're gonna make it very far, I'm so sure.
Thank you.
Um, how do the city and eternal connect for you? Like, are they part of a larger narrative or do they represent different phases in your life?
I think that it's a hard one. I feel like they're different, but they both still mean a lot to me now. But I think the city, like I said before, it was like a very specific feeling and it was a very like that time in my life, like I can remember writing it and that was really how I was feeling. But I still do kind of feel that way because I still would like to move to the city. So that still relates to me. And then I feel eternal. I think when I was writing it, I remember being like super happy with it because I was struggling to write like like I feel like it's quite a fun song. Like it's not super slow, but it's still emotional and it still like means a lot. So I think that was like a turning point for me where I was like, wait, okay, this is good. Yeah, I think they both represent me in different ways. But the message, they're both still like love songs at the end of the day, and that is still with me. Yeah.
Yeah, I love how your first songs are actually love songs because you don't really meet people who write love songs first. Like, it takes them time to get through heartbreak and then write something lovey dovey. So I also do appreciate that. It's really amazing. Um,
Yeah.
when you think about performing these songs live, how do you envision creating an atmosphere that matches their energy?
Yeah, so I love playing live. I gig quite a lot, to be honest, with either a band or just acoustically. So I feel like it's very different setups, but with a band is where you can really like have fun with it. And for the city, actually, it's like I think we play it slightly longer, like a longer version of it. And it just has like some extra like guitar parts and stuff like that. It's basically a more elevated version, I would say. Um, which is super cool. And then Eternal is also another reason I actually released Eternal or was thinking about it was when I play that song live, everyone always says it's like their favorite. And I was like, oh, really? That's so interesting. So Eternal is super fun to play. And we add in the track, the drums come in the chorus, but in the live version, they actually come in like pretty much from the start. So again, we like redid that a bit just to make that one even more like just like fun and cool live. So yeah, I love playing live. I think it's so fun. And then as I said, like with the band, you can just add things and there's like a couple of like instrumentals that I don't have in the song. You know, I just want to like give it a bit more just because it's fun.
Yeah, I love when artists like tour and do gigs because you actually can like feel them and like feel the emotions for sure
Hmm.
when they go back in time where they wrote it. And I think when I spoke to many artists, they just love seeing their fans like faces when they react to it. So, are you thinking about like putting the extended or the city version out, or is it just gonna be like for the live thing?
I've never thought about it, to be honest. I think that would be super cool. But maybe if I had a good, maybe I don't have an answer yet, but maybe potentially actually, maybe you've just given me the idea.
Okay, okay, I'm excited. I would love to hear it, or I'll
Yeah,
just go
yeah,
to a live gig. Who knows? I just need to
yes,
get my passport done so I can go to UK, and then we're there.
yeah, that
Mm.
would be so cool.
Are there any surprising influences, musical or otherwise, that shape the sound of the city or Eternal?
Oh, I actually thought about this. In the city when I was writing it, you know Radiohead, their song No Surprises. That was like my favorite song at that time. And I literally thought about this the other day and I was like, oh my God, that's so funny. And I loved the lyric, No Surprises. And then in the city, in the verse, like one of the first lines is like, it's no surprise that I blamed it on time. And I had that lyric because I really wanted to use the word surprise. But at this point in the song, I didn't really know what I was saying, if that makes sense. I just knew I wanted to use that. So I guess that song was an influence, which is funny. And then I think for Eternal, it was just my usual influences. Like I just wanted to write like an indie pop kind of song. So yeah, I think
Thank you. Yeah, the city one is interesting. Thank you for sharing that. I didn't actually like think about it, so
yeah.
amazing. How has releasing your first two songs changed how you see yourself as an artist? Has it shifted your creative goals in any way?
Yeah, these are such good questions, by the way. They're really cool.
Thank you.
I think they've made me more like confident on the direction and like sound I want to go to, if that makes any sense at all. Um, so like I said with Eternal, I was really happy with that song because it was like fun but also emotional, and I think that made me more inspired to write more songs like that. Like I have more songs that are the same vibe as Eternal now, but before I never had that, and I think that really helped me like shape more of a sound. And I think yeah, it's tricky. I feel like hearing people's responses, where obviously when they're nice, they're so lovely. But then also you compare yourself to other artists, which is like it sometimes can be a good thing, but also a very bad thing. But I think especially with the second release now, I feel like who I'm becoming like individually is more of a thing that's happening, and I'm happy with it. So yeah, I'm still figuring it out, but I think they've definitely helped me like click to who I want to be as a musician.
No, you definitely, I feel like, did a lot already. And I just can't wait people to discover because I
Oh.
just love them so much. I'm gonna just yap about it the whole time because I love the song so much. I was actually pretty upset that TikTok didn't show me. That's
Hmm.
another like thing I just hate about social media because there's so many talented artists out there, and when they just don't get the numbers, they won't be discovered. And I just think it's pretty stupid. That's kind of like another one of inspirations why I wanted to do this because I also like not, I mean, I have like the most, I had like thousands listens, which is good, but you really need to push yourself out there. So I also, from my perspective, even though not as a musician, I really do appreciate when artists just like not give up, so
Yeah.
I love it. Mm,
Yeah, for sure.
I
I think it's oh, sorry. I
Yeah,
was
no,
just
no,
go
you can go.
I was just gonna say, I think it's a tricky one, like, navigating it at this time when there's a lot of artists
Yeah.
and social media. Yeah, it's a tricky one to, like, break through because also you want more people to discover you, but you also don't wanna suddenly look like you're always just trying to promote yourself and make it look too serious, and it is a tricky one, but, it's just one of those things I feel like we'll get there.
Yeah, I hope we can change it one day. Also, I
Yeah.
was thinking about production of the songs, and maybe not about production, but also about the lyrics. Like, what's something about the two songs that fans might not notice on a first listen, but you think is an important detail in the songs?
I think I don't know if they would notice or not. I think a lot of musicians would, but a lot of the instruments on both of the tracks are MIDI, so they're not like real. So like the drums, for example, and the bass, and some of the guitars even, which people get really shocked about because not that we've like faked it. It's just like because I don't have access to do all these things yet, like record drums. You can get loads of like samples and stuff. So a lot of it is built off like different samples and us doing that, if that makes sense, which I think actually makes the songs a bit more unique as well. Some people have told me, which I find really interesting. Um, but as I like get further in my career, I would really love to have like real drums and real bass and stuff like that. But for now, it's been MIDI on the tracks, which is kind of cool. But yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you. Um, do you see your next project continuing in the same sonic direction as The City and Eternal, or are you excited to explore new sounds? I mean, you already said that you have songs like Eternal, but like, what's next?
Um, my next single that is planning to be released, it actually feels like quite like a middle ground for Eternal in the City, which is why I'm quite excited because I feel like that song really makes sense with the other songs, and I feel like the songs that I'm gonna release in this like first project I'm doing, they all kind of link and are that vibe. But in the future I'm so down, and even now still I'm so down to like try new things. And the songs don't sound exactly like The City and Eternal, but they definitely have a similar feel to them. But I really love when songs like are coherent. I find that really special. So yeah, I'd say that.
That's interesting because when I was writing this question, I was actually inspired by my friend Zoe, who is also a musician, and she used to play in a band, and she has really like a soft voice, like really soft voice. Like, I don't think I've ever met anyone who she sounds like a kitten. And she actually had a gig, and she played a rock song, and I was just like amazed by how such a soft voice can turn into like this rock version. So I also love when artists do like something new, and it's really inspirational to also do something new and to like not stick into the same sound, because I feel like also you cannot move to be as a person, not just only like music but also other stuff. Like, you just need to try new things to become better.
Yeah, for sure. No, I totally agree. That's a funny story. That's so cool though. I feel like I would yeah, I'm so down to like so many genres. I feel like I would never go too heavy, but you never know. Maybe in a few years.
Yeah, I'm excited if it ever happens.
Yeah, yeah,
um
yeah.
and if we're talking about different sounds and other artists, could you think about collaborating on a remix of either The City or Eternal, and who would it be?
For Eternal, I don't know if it's gonna be surprising or not, but it'd definitely be Nessa Barrett
Okay.
because She was actually like an inspiration for the song, and I just think her songs are so dreamy, and like the vibe I was going for was like her songs to me feel so they just have this certain atmosphere and feel about them. And I think that would be like so cool if she could like sing it song with me. So I feel like it would be her. That would be fun. Um yeah, but it'd also be cool to hear like a male voice, I feel like Sam Fender or someone like that. But yeah, probably Nessa Barrett.
Oh, that I never thought about it. I actually was thinking for Eternal Madison Beer, but Nessa Barrett
Mhm.
also. Like, oh my God, that could be cool. We should like
Yeah.
let her know about the song. I'm sure she would love it if she knew about the song.
Yeah. Hopefully.
How did you first discover your passion for music, and at what point did you know you wanted to pursue it seriously?
So I started studying music a few years ago now and at college. And I think that was when I properly started taking it seriously, I'd say. But I've been like singing for years now and just been wanting to do this. But yeah, I would say when I was surrounded by other musicians and actually studying it, I think it just clicked to me that this could actually be a reasonable career. Obviously, I know it's very tricky and takes a lot, but it is something that people do. And then I started taking it seriously. Yeah.
Oh, so you went. Oh, that's amazing because I also like went to music school.
Oh,
I've been
sick.
I've been playing on a piano since I was 4, so 14 years, and I just think it takes a lot of courage to actually like push yourself to do it and to pursue it seriously because I think people are just scared of what other people might think. I never actually thought about like doing music professionally, but also I'm very down to like play for someone. So, but I actually never like pushed myself out there and like posted a video. I think I have one video of me like playing on the piano. So, um, I just really look up to you now that
Oh,
you did music school because there are a lot of like mean people out there who can tell you like, oh, you're
hmm.
not gonna make it or something like that. So, yeah, that's very inspirational. Thank you for sharing that.
It's okay. You should totally go for it if you want to. That would be so fun.
Yeah, I think too, but um I don't know. I just have a lot of other hobbies. Like this is one of them. And also I love writing and I just kind of like forgot about this part of me. I wish I could pursue it
Yeah.
more and have time for that, but I don't know. We'll see. I feel like I still have time to discover myself, so we'll see.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm, since you said you love gigs, do you have any pre-show or studio rituals that help you get into the right mindset before creating or performing?
I would love to have like a pre-show ritual. I actually don't have one right now, but I definitely want one. I think I do, I guess I do have little ones, but not like a fun major one with the band. That would be so fun. I think I just tell myself to like enjoy it because when I first started gigging, I was so nervous that like I wasn't even there on stage. Like I was not thinking, I wasn't in the moment, I wasn't having fun. Like it was, now I look back, it was really, really strange actually. Um, so I think I just tell myself like enjoy it. Like it doesn't matter if it's not completely perfect. Like if I mess up, it's okay and just have fun with it. I think is something I try and tell myself before a show. And then I think recording wise, I recording vocals for me is probably my least favorite part. Like recording a main vocal. I I sometimes just get very underconfident in my voice. So sometimes when I'm recording, I'll get like my boyfriend or someone to just like hype me up, just like have fun and try and get me going because sometimes like me and my mind is just not enough, you know. Um, but yeah, so basically just like positive vibes and good vibes is what I tell myself.
Oh, well, I'm gonna assure you that your voice is awesome. I think I saw also
Thank
one
you.
clip of you performing, and you're amazing live also. So, but I do understand. Like, I'm not gonna say like, "Oh, you're awesome," and I just don't get how you can feel this way. I actually do get it, so it's fine. I also am not listening to myself when I like finish podcasts. I just know which parts I need to cut, and then I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm not listening to myself because I absolutely hate it. So I do get you. And also I feel like people don't really think about you messing up during the show. Also it is always it makes you giggle, but also not many people notice because you're like so full of dopamine that is actually okay. And yeah,
Yeah,
I wish I
definitely.
could see you live. Honestly,
Oh, one day,
I'll
I'll be on
I'll
tour.
thank you, thank you. Europe, whenever you're like in Europe, Middle Europe, I'm there. I'm seriously there. Um,
That'll be fun.
mm, what's been the most challenging part of your journey as a musician so far, and how have you overcome it?
Um, I think the confidence thing, like what I was saying before, like I think so for example, like recording and having confidence, and then I think also just in this industry, people like in the industry can sometimes expect like quite a lot from you, like expect you to have a million amazing songs like ready to release and stuff like that, which definitely like makes me think like, oh my gosh, like am I don't know. I think the expectation sometimes is hard, but you just have to kind of I've learned to just kind of ignore it and stay in my own little bubble. And when the right people will come to me who actually want to work with me and don't have all this expectation, then I think that'll be right anyway, if that makes sense. But yeah, I think also with like social media you can compare yourself so much to other people's like lifestyles, and you're like, oh well, why isn't my song like being found by this many people? But again, you like just have to kind of not think about that. So yeah, probably just the expectation that comes with it and social media and comparing yourself, I would say.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning social media. I want to dig into it a little more because
Hmm.
recently a lot of artists are struggling with algorithms. So, how do you feel about like needing to be popular on TikTok to actually like do music?
I think I I've been trying to have more fun with it, like even since I've been releasing music, because and especially this time around. So with my first song, oh my gosh, I was posting like 3 times a day on like 3 different accounts. It was crazy. And some of them are doing well, but some of them weren't. And then for this song, I kind of just took less pressure of that on myself. And I've just kind of been actually trying to connect more with like people who like my music and have more fun with it rather than being so serious. But I think I honestly, I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. I think you just have to not let that define you as a musician, and numbers, even streams, like you can have a million streams, but no one can actually care. You'd rather have people that actually care. So I think building that with people and being nice and doing fun things is way more important than just getting like likes on TikTok. So I think trying to remind myself of that and knowing and trusting that it will come and work out and happen, you know.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that because as I mentioned, like a lot of people are struggling, and seeing it from this point of view, it's really nice to more think about it as a hobby and not and like having fun with it than taking it like seriously as your job. Because I don't know, I just feel like people with TikTok and with like everything, people move so fast, and whenever you do mistake or something, they just like forget about you. And so how do you feel about like cancel culture and what's been going around, like because like a lot of people and a lot of celebrities are canceled, so how do you feel about that, like how it
Yeah,
changed?
I think it's like a crazy topic, right? I think when it's um when someone's being cancelled for something actually bad, like genuinely they've done a bad thing or said something really offensive, then I understand, but I still don't understand everyone completely hating on them. Like for me, I would just unfollow and not associate myself rather than just like making a video being like I hate you and all these like horrible messages. Um but I also do think with some people, it's become people like they haven't specifically said, like people will find a reason to cancel someone even if it's not actually a reason, which I just think really sucks. But again, if they've done something offensive, I understand that, but I would just remove myself from them. I wouldn't make this big cancel thing unless it was something really awful and people needed to be aware of it. But I think people definitely like to hate for fun. Not everyone, but some people, which isn't good. But I don't know. I think we'll just see moving forward how it works and if that will still be a thing and if people realize that it is really affecting the artists and those celebrities. Yeah, I'm not too sure to be honest. I'm just kind of watching it from the backseat, like seeing it happen, and it's a really tricky thing. I feel like, you know.
No, no, I completely agree. I wanted to make like an episode about it, and I honestly would say like what you said just now. So
Hmm.
I don't really like have anything else to share, but also like people get canceled for such a dumb things and for sharing basically just their opinion. And do you feel like as a musician, do you feel like sharing your opinion about some world struggles is important or not?
I do think it's important if you have a platform. I think for me right now, I mean, I guess I'm growing a platform, which is good. And I think if you can get a message across, that is important to a lot of, like, imagine you have millions of followers and they can all just see that. Then I think for sure, like, sharing, like, good causes and how to help certain situations is great. Um, so yeah, I think it just, when it's like very, topics that are a bit hit and miss, like to talk about, I think it can get a little bit confusing. But if the artist wants to voice their opinion and they are considering other people's feelings, then I think it's okay. Again, I think it just depends on the situation. But I think if you can help a situation and raise awareness, then definitely do that.
Yeah, yeah, I agree because I'm that kind of person who loves to like share about struggles and problems and whatsoever. And um from a point of fan, sometimes I am disappointed in someone who knows that they're doing like a bad thing or know that their opinion is wrong, but they still like pursue it because of whatever I heard that people paid them for like sharing the wrong thing or whatever. I truly don't know much about like the deep music industry, so it might be the problem. But yeah, I from my point of view, I just feel like it sometimes it can really help people who are struggling in parts of world and are fans of the musician and just showing like they care. It's really nice to like have someone like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think, as you said as well, you sometimes people have like social media managers and sometimes they might not think it's the best idea to share things, so it's interesting of like how it works for like big celebrities behind the scenes. But I think, yeah, for sure, like if you can help a situation, then why wouldn't you, kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned labels because I wanted to ask, like, what's your opinion about that? Like, would you like to be signed to a record label? What are the pro and cons? And because especially like female artists, people in the label pursue them to do things they don't want to. So, how do you feel about that?
I think I would like to be signed, but only to like a good contract and a good team. And do you know what I mean? I wouldn't imagine some they came up to me and were like, do this deal, and I wouldn't just immediately say yes. I'd really think about it. And I think that's great that I even know to think about it because there's been like awareness online about it from like artists speaking out about their experiences, which is really great for small upcoming artists that are starting to speak to industry people and need to know to be cautious. Um, I think obviously being signed helps elevate an artist and their vision because there's so much money and so much resources and just everything that we don't personally have to make that happen. Like think about all the major pop stars right now, like Olivia Rodrigo, all these people couldn't do that by themselves. But obviously again there's cons and I don't think it you need to rely on one as much as you would have used to because of stuff like social media. And if you, I think I've noticed a lot of artists now, not a lot, but some have are on like independent labels, so like smaller labels, but the labels have resources to like bigger, um, like outsources too, if that makes sense. So it works quite well. So I think something like that would be really interesting for me, like an independent label. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I know about a few of them, and they like have few connections with like manager and stuff. So yeah, I get that. Yeah, I'm always interested in this topic because um I understand that people might not have like money for, I don't know, creating music video or like producing and stuff. So having that kind of support from a label could be nice, but the contracts I saw for like a few of them, and especially like the big ones, it's really concerning that they see an artist as like a moneymaker and not like an artist who is supposed to share their art. So, what's something about the music industry that you wish more people understood from an artist perspective?
I think maybe that the artists are trying not to be like a business because obviously the music industry is a business and they do need to make money and that wouldn't like do you know what I mean? It wouldn't be possible if it wasn't a business at the end of the day. But then I think artists don't want to betray that. They just want to have their art and portray that nicely and not make it a money thing because to them it's not at the end of the day they or at least from my experience like I just want to make a career out of this. So I think maybe if there's like a lot of promotion online that it's not because we want money and we want a million streams, it's so people can hear the music and like it and get something out of it. Yeah, if that makes sense. It's
Yeah,
tricky, I feel like.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I wouldn't know what I would answer to this honestly if I were making music because you don't want to say anything like mean or not mean, but like wrong. But also we should learn from this and from other people's and artists like situations where the music was stolen and they lost like rights to it or they were wronged by people. And I just feel like it's so important to find balance and being true to your vision and the pressure of expectations of the music industry, because I feel like some people might help you with, the expectations and being better, but also you need to stay true to yourself. So how do you balance being true to yourself, but also with the pressures and expectations of not only the music industry, but let's say like people in general and fans?
I think I've, for me, it's something I'm still figuring it out, but I think I'm becoming more comfortable and more confident in myself. And I think if you're confident in your vision and who you can be as an artist and your music, then you do s- stick to that and you don't kind of put on a persona or something. And I think that is something I'm becoming better at, and I'm trusting myself and believing like, although I might not have a million like streams and followers right now, I can that doesn't validate that, and I can see what I'm going for, and I'll never need that if some people see that. And yeah, so I think just believing it yourself, and then other people will catch on eventually if they like it, and if they don't, then it's fine. There's so much music out there, like not everyone will like everything, you know.
Yeah, well, we're here for you. I'm sure many fans also. How do you like see your fandom? Like, do you have a name? And I don't know, can you share like few memorable things with your fans?
It's so weird. Like I feel like they're not like fans. We just like speak and like I have a group chat and it's actually called Lily's Dears, but I don't really know if that's like a name. Someone just named it that, which is quite cute but funny. And I think I I just love like honestly anyone who like says something nice to me, I'm like, well, thanks. Like let's chat. Like I don't know. I think I just appreciate it so much, and I don't want them to think that I think I'm like, like above them and they're like a fan and I'm like blah the singer and I just want it to be like a really nice space. And I think the group chat we have at the minute is just like a really nice space where people will just chat for hours. Like I won't even be on the chat, they'll just be speaking about like gigs they're going to and all this stuff. And I think that's really fun for me. And I did a Zoom like a Zoom party thing a few weeks ago. No, like the other week, my first ever one, and that was so cute. And again, it was just like a big chat. Like it was just like being on FaceTime with your friends. Like it was so fun. I'm gonna do another one soon because it was really fun. I was really nervous to do it because I didn't know if anyone would join, but people did join, and it was really fun. So yeah, that's like a memorable moment I think for me.
Oh, that's so sweet. I'm literally like smiling here, ear to ear, because I also am a big fangirl myself and I love Zooms and everything like that. So I understand from both sides since I try to like understand both, but I don't think I ever thought or like interacted with a small artist who thought they're better than like their fans. Like that's what I also appreciate about small artists, like artists in general, where they stay true to their human form and really like interact with people and are there to help their fans if they need to. But also I don't appreciate some fans like trauma dumping artists. Have like did this ever happen to you? Because I met few artists who were like trying to explain that I love you guys, but also there's a balance between this and you need to like understand that I'm not your therapist. So how do you feel about that? Like your songs are like lovey-dovey, but also some people can perceive it from a different perspective. So how do you feel someone trauma dumping you? Because that was also a big conversation a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I feel like I've never heard that term, but that's interesting. I think I don't know how to feel. I think um in the group chat, like I remember a few weeks ago, someone was like quite upset, and everyone was being really nice, being like, "Oh, well, we're here for you," and like I said, like it's okay, like just like comforting, trying to be nice. I think yeah, as I think if they were constantly messaging like a lot and saying everything, then it is, it's a tricky situation because if they support you and really love you about your music, you want to give them help in return. But I guess it can be hard because you're not their best friend. Like, I don't know, it's really tricky because
No,
I would love to help everyone, but then I think sometimes, like, I've been in situations with like friends or family or people like that in the past where it can be quite draining if someone's constantly upset. So I think imagine an artist had that from loads of different people every day. Like, that could be quite overwhelming for the artist, potentially.
yeah, yeah, I completely agree. Thank you for sharing that too, because everyone perceives emotions differently. And when we're talking about different emotions, are there any specific themes or messages you hope to explore more deeply in your future music?
Yeah, I actually recently I have two new songs that I've been writing that are about like the music industry, which is really interesting. Because that's a topic I've never really spoke about before, and I think also because I've never spoke it before, these came out really naturally. And just speaking about how opportunities and like how they have control and honestly, just a lot of things. So I think that's really interesting to me. So I think that was a cool one. And then I don't know, I think for me when I write it just kind of comes naturally. So but I would love to write like a really like wholesome song, like being there for someone. I'd love to write a song like that. And I have written songs like that before. I think to do it right where it's not too like cliche, it's like getting it right is a little bit tricky when it's like really um like being there for someone. If that made any sense at all.
Yeah, it made. Thank you. I love songs like that, so thank you for saying this, because I feel very comforted in like listening to music and listening to artists I do love and appreciate. And hearing song like that, like, it can help people. You never know, like someone can slide into your DMs and be like, hey, like, this song quite literally changed my life, which I also shared many times. So yeah, it's really amazing, so thank you. um can you share more about like your upcoming music? If you don't want to share, it's fine. Like, I'm not gonna like push you, but if you wanna like share, like, is something coming soon or by the end of the year, and yeah, whatever you feel comfortable with sharing, I'll be happy to listen.
Cool. So music is definitely happening. It's still very like DIY for me. Um, and oh, I don't know what to say, but basically a new song should be out in the next few months, so not far. Um, but it there was meant to be something before the end of the year, but it might be getting pushed to the start of the new year. But that's still not too far because by the time Christmas is over and everything, like I really don't think it's too far. So that's really exciting. And then I have some shows coming up and I have a show December 14th in Manchester, in the UK, and I'm really excited for that. I have one in London tomorrow actually. So some shows, but in terms of releases, potentially not till early next year, but I'm still really excited and I'm really excited just in general for music because I've been writing so much recently. I've actually been really inspired because I feel like I go through phases where I'm not as inspired and then I am, and recently I've been writing tons, so I'm really excited to start recording some of the new ones as well. So yeah, but things are definitely coming. I think I want to stay consistent, but also focus on building and finding people who like my music. I don't just want to rush it all and then I've released all these songs and I'm still not finding new people, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's like a little update for now, but I will see. And I always post stuff on my socials, which are dearlilymusic if anyone wants to see on there.
Oh, I completely agree with the not pushing thing, because sometimes I feel like songs can be rushed and they can be like better if like the artists sit with them. So we're gonna wait for sure. And also, I'm gonna link the December show in the description so you can check it out, and also your social media. So if you want to stay updated, you can. And yeah, I think that's a wrap, but I always love to end this like session uh with your last words, where you would share something to upcoming musicians whenever like they are listening right now and they want to pursue music. Like, what would you share to artists who want to pursue music more and want to do this like for real?
I think you cannot care what other people think. And I think that's been a really big like stepping stone for me and has really progressed, has really helped me progress as an artist and on who I want to be and who I'm becoming. And I think you really just can't care. And if you have friends who like are judging you for it, then they're just not really very good friends, and you'll find music friends, and that's so fun when you get friends who are musicians as well. Like I love my friends who are musicians, and that's probably the biggest advice I would give. Um, And also, again, just to focus on yourself, not compare, and pray and manifest like myself that things will come true. And yeah,
Thank
they're
you.
my
I'm sure
words.
sure many people will be inspired. So thank you. And thank you for chatting with me and for sharing so much, and you're so wise, and I'm sure we all are rooting for you, and we can wait to see what you're gonna do next.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, all the questions have been really, really interesting and fun. So thank you. I'm excited to listen back. Congrats on having a podcast. That's so cool. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much again, like a million times. I'm gonna repeat myself after that also. So I'm sorry in advance. So yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed this, and see you next Friday. Bye.
Bye.